Fishy, fishy, fishy.
What's going on, fishy friends? Down in the fish room, about to do some maintenance. Figured I'd do a little update and take a walk through all the tanks once again. We'll start over here on the rack with the 10 gallons. Got a bunch of neons in here. That last round, the neons and cardinals I bought did not do so well. I lost a decent amount of those fish, but since I replaced them, and I've had 14 neons now in this tank for a couple of weeks running without one death, so I think this tank is finally happy, and finally got a good batch of neons. Tank itself looks pretty well too. Plants, I don't do anything too special to this tank. This tank is just pool filter sand. I've got a pair of Finex Stingray LED lamps spread over the two 10-gallon tanks, so that's difficult to really say how much light it's actually getting. Probably a little more than if I had one properly sized Finex over each tank, but this setup actually works pretty well. Next to it is another 10-gallon. This is a dirted tank covered with pool filter sand and some gravel, and obviously plants do a lot better with dirt than they do with just the pool filter sand. This tank has been doing pretty well too. Most of these 10 gallons, I don't want to say I neglect, but I might not put in as much effort or as much time as I do with some of my larger tanks. Certainly not as much as I do with my discus tanks, even though my discus tanks aren't planted, but the discus take more time than most of the other tanks that I have in the fish room, just because of the number of water changes I end up doing on discus tanks. I am for 50% daily there. You know, most of these planted tanks, I get around to 50% at least once a week or so, I'd say. Down here we got the rasboras. That one black angelfish still swimming in circles. I don't know what to do about that thing. I do have to put it out of its misery eventually, but it's thriving, it's living, it's eating. It just can't swim straight, and it's not growing very much at all. Other than that, bunch of rasboras. There's some celestial pearl danios in there. I can't ever focus on them with this camera, which is a shame, because they're a good looking fish and they just don't show up here. Over here we got the last two German blue rams that I had received from an order I got from Ted Judy. Not sure which fish these exactly are. I had gotten 6 fish in total of various different rams he had available. This is that tank that I tried the red cherry shrimp in, and well, apparently failed miserably, but almost ready to try again, I think. A couple of more rams over here. This is really the only tank that has a bunch of fake decor, fake plants. Where's the other ram? Well, it's in there somewhere, I promise. Discus are looking good. These 4 are the ones that I switched into this tank somewhat recently. They seem to be acclimating well. They seem to have less peppering on their body in this tank than they did in the other. They're starting to mature, starting to finally show a bit of aggression here and there. I don't know if finally is the right word, but those two are kind of going at it right now. I don't think that's anything other than just aggression right there. But it's nothing that lasts too long and nothing that's ever too severe, so I don't need to intervene at any point yet. This is actually some of the more aggression I've seen from them recently, actually. What else? The pair are doing well. Hopefully they might start spawning again for me soon. And hopefully my order from Australian blackworms comes in soon. My freeze-dried blackworms are pretty much all these 2 elite. I ran out recently, and it's taken a little longer than I expected to receive my order. 5 angels are doing really well. These guys are growing like monsters. Keeping them in a bare bottom tank and sort of treating them the way I would young discus, feeding them multiple times a day heavily, and doing very frequent large water changes, which I am in need of. That's about 24 hours or so worth of waste and stuff that I need to clean out of this tank right now. But they're always hungry. Let's see. Hit the button on the feeder and let them eat a little. They always go at it and go at it hard and pretty much finish every last little morsel in the tank. 72 bow front looks real well. All the rainbows are doing good. I moved my red-tailed black shark over here. He was in... Where had I had him? He was up in that 10-gallon there with the German blue ram and that black skirt tetra. And obviously that tank was just a little too small for... Well, it's probably too small for what's in there now too, but it was definitely too small for that guy. Or girl, for all I know. This tank seems to be doing real good. The 20 long is riddled with algae. I've just been kind of letting the apistos hang out in here and haven't really wanted to do much of anything on this tank. The fish are looking good. The plants, on the other hand, are not. So I'm going to need to take care of that. But all 4 apistos all look really good. Like I said, I definitely got to start doing some more maintenance on this tank. And hopefully I can get it back to looking the way it used to, and continue getting these plants to look a little better and better. 55 is looking really good. This tank is really difficult for me to film because of where it's located in the house. Right up next to the wall here. I tried to get as much as I could down here, so it's not exactly easy to film it, but at least I can enjoy it. I don't know if I can really film it correctly to show what it looks like if you're able to stand right in front of it too well. It sort of gives a good idea, I suppose. I'm starting to like this tank a lot. It had given me some problems early on, but I like the way it's come along. And the rest of my discus down here, they're also looking pretty good. Most of the smaller fish are growing. There are 1 or 2 very, very stunted fish in here. But most of them are doing well. They're all doing well. Some are just going to grow bigger than the others did. Alright guys, that's it for now. I'll be back soon.